Do you ever play Skyrim and find it the same? Ordinary. Feel like you've done everything you could possibly do and that you've already told your story to its completion in the world of Tamriel. Of course you have, we're only human and we can only do things in certain ways and do things the way we like to do them. And we can only see things through our eyes. But a computer, now they can do things in weird ways that we can't even comprehend.
Well, no need to be a crybaby because AI is going to handle this for us. There is this website called Talk to Transformer. It's an AI made by Adam King. Now the way this works is that you start a story with whatever you want to say, then the AI will search throughout the web and learn how it can complete the story in a somewhat comprehensive way.
Yeah, something, isn't it?
Now this is obviously an extremely powerful tool for people to use when they have writer's block or such things like that. Now we're going to use it to tell the most amazing Skyrim story playthrough of all time.
Okay, now before we blow the world's mind with the most calculatedly, amazingly realistic playthrough of Skyrim of all time, it's best that I lay out the ground rules of how I'm going to handle such power. Because let's be honest here, this is a storytelling AI, and I'm going to use it to play a game in a roundabout sort of way. So here's the basic gist of how this is going to work.
I'm going to start a new game of Skyrim.
As you do. A lot.
But I plan on being the hands of the random shit this AI says. Giving AI control over a human's actions should have zero ratifications. Now from the very start, every time there is a choice to be made.
So if I run into a group of bandits, I'll go to the website, of course pause the game because I don't want to die, and I will enter in something like this.
The warrior alone encountered the bandit group. Then it would spit something out like this. Now it's my job to interpret what it says and how I can relate it to the game and what I can do in that certain situation, if that makes any kind of sense.
More tutorial. Now it's important to note that sometimes the AI will blurt out some random nonsense like this.
Was he elf or human? And lately he's just dumb. That's all. Step 3. Stolen prank questions. Preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Gas 6.
I think Skynet just had a stroke.
When something like that happens, I will either re-roll it or rewrite it in a more precise way to the situation.
Well, that's the idea behind the video, at least. Or I should say video series.
Really, man? You were supposed to wink. That was your only job. Winking is blinking one eye. One. Because as you will see, I had a hell of a lot of fun doing this.
And don't worry, I'll display every entry I put and all the responses via screenshots on the screen when we encounter them. So you don't have to get confused and wonder if I'm lying or stuff like that, because I'll display them.
Now let's begin our journey. Only legends speak of. Not that legends. I heard that's getting shut down. Oh, I'm excited, baby. Now with any new game of Skyrim, I ain't doing that again. That's the reason we have the random start mod. See, I don't plan on just going through the story. I plan on getting up to a bunch of random shit, and this is the best way to do it. Now comes the most important decision for our AI to make. What kind of character are we going to be? We need our race. I have never had so much trouble getting a straight answer from anything. Look, every AI choice that this thing makes, it usually makes in the first, second, third try. Every now and again, maybe a few more. But just for this first choice, I tried asking the simple stuff, like this. Eventually, I just labeled the races 1 through 10 and told it to roll the dice.
And I had to roll the dice, even on that, more than an alcoholic father who keeps gambling their money away in hopes that he'll win it big so it can pay off his debt, but he just keeps going more and more into debt. And before he knows it, the account just says $10, and her birthday's coming up, and she's really wanting that.
He rolled the 6-sided die. For a life die, he rolled a 2. Life die rolled a 2. Well, I would agree that race is part of your life, so I'm just gonna go with that one. Bada bing, bada boom, werewolf elf. I swear every other question is way less gimmicky than that. It'll be a lot easier from here on out. Asking for the gender was simple enough. We got female. Then it went on about racism, but we're going to ignore that part.
Now it's time to determine how our character is going to look. I went back and forth and in 50,000 different directions figuring out how I wanted to do this, how I wanted to handle this. I originally thought of doing a different entry for everything, like what did her hair look like, what did her eyes look like, but that would have took ages and too much of the video. So I just simply entered in this.
The female elf looked in the mirror and was delighted. The smitten beauty was at least delighted with her. She suddenly felt sad. She was miserable in many ways, but there was no lament for the dead from which she had suffered. Mighty sorrow befell the young prince. He felt weak and helpless and trembled all over his body. His gaze and voice would stop abruptly, and his body shook, reeling under the shock. He was unable to control his voice. He was afraid he would lose control of himself. He was ashamed of his inability to voice his feelings. It seems we need to make our elf here very beautiful, but also super sad, like a struggling model.
And here we have the first bit of a spicy backstory for our character here. It seems like our character had some sort of relationship with a prince in the past before our adventure began. Friend zoned, it sounded like. I'm sorry, dude.
This here. This goes there, yes. Move this up to the side, yes. Yes, you'll be perfect, my child. All other parents will be in awe. I'm okay. I'm okay. This is what I came up with. Now, beauty is subjective. It's in the eye of the beholder. But at least she didn't turn out looking like this. Now we name our protagonist.
And this was completely random, right? Okay, I did not give it any kind of hints or any kind of semblance that this was in Skyrim with this question. But look at the it throughout.
The elven parents named their daughter Kahlukil, after the goddess of the sea and storms. The Bosmer girl named her after Thalmor recruit Sigvald. Without context, this damn AI related it to the Elder Scrolls lore. Not only that, it said Bosmer girl. This shit is no coincidence. Skynet is learning. Any sane person would shut it down right now.
But I have to keep pushing forward and keep feeding the killing data.
What could go wrong, right? Oh. But now, we also know that she was named after a Thalmor recruit named Sigvard. Dope. Her name shall be Kahlukil. Now I have a mod where I can choose a class, or I say we, but I really mean Skynet. Now in hindsight, I think I wrote this kind of weird. The start of the sentence just seems kind of wrong now that I look back at it. What I put was, the elven woman fought by, then it finished it out, but it's kind of hard to discern. It said it fought the elven mage.
It seems we're a mage. That's what I'm going to go with at least. That's how I'm going to interpret it.
We got all that boring crap out of the way. Now let's actually get on with our journey with Skynet's Skyrim. Hey, that's actually a cool name. We awoke in a strange forest. The female elven mage awoke in a strange forest. She said that soon they would start to encounter humans and things would get interesting. But it seems we need to make contact with humans. A quick check of the map shows that we're close to Riften. So naturally, I made my way to there.
Our first conversation, man. I'm so excited to see how this handles it, and it had to be this didn't it?
Yeah, Dick Dingleberry here is the first person we get to talk to. Joyous days. Says she left a gift, so I'm assuming I need to pay the fee. Even though persuasion always works on this bullshit. I'm good. I'm okay. And like any college graduate, I can't afford anything, so I was turned away from the city. I realize now, editing the video, that I said that it was worded weirdly a lot. So for now on, I'm going to be more cautious and more descriptive with what I put into the AI so we get better responses. I'm sorry for my sin. I'll go sit in a corner for 20 minutes and then I'll go back to editing after my timeout is done. The elven maid was denied access to the city and left in the forest under constant guard. He found solitude in the nearby mountains and in time developed an affinity for the snows and cold night. None of that stuff is really relevant. But Solitude is a city in the game. And it's like all the way across the freaking map. So we will have plenty of journeys along the way. And I already recorded a lot more, so yeah. That's our mission. We need to make our way to Solitude. That's going to be our main focus and our main mission for Kahlukil. Let's see what kind of random goodness will happen. Well, as we continue on our journey with our trustworthy torch and our trusty fire magic that we grasp in our bare hands, because that's just normal in Skyrim, I guess, we come across a fort of some kind. After approaching the fort to determine if it was, held by an ally or an enemy, we discovered it was an enemy fort. And this fort was named Fort Greenwall. Just our luck.
Our little, protag here has the luck of a horror movie main character, and we're just stuck latched to her back while she journeys on this.
And as we do, when we encounter anything, we throw it into the puppeteer of Kahlukil, Skynet. The female elven mage alone came across an enemy fort. Our first battle, baby, but it's not at all what I was hoping for. Let me, rap genius this to you for a second, alright? We are a mage who needs to stealth our way into an enemy fort to kill the leader. We are broke, have flames as our only weapon, have no armor, and we have to sneak our way to kill a bandit chief at level 1 with no experience whatsoever. But she still lets guards walk all over her with obvious scams, but there's some give and take when it comes to needless murder, I guess. So that's what I'm taking it from, at least. Using my expert sneaking ability, handed down through generations, I was instantly spotted and ran into the fort like a coward I am. After entering the enemy fort, I discovered that there was indeed enemies. Well, I tried to get the sneak on them. Well, I got kind of close, I guess. And we began our duel, our first battle officially. And we will go down in history. And it's over. Big Sword Man. See my technique here, right? Study this. If you're new to Skyrim, this is the best technique you can do. See, I'm holding down the fire button and running away like the true warrior I am. A few torch smacks here and there and he's dead. And then we run into we run into a coward like me. After I did the logical thing to do to all the bandits, I found a man having the true Bethesda experience. Then I killed another peeping Tom. Then I found a professional wall admirer. Killed her. Okay, after all other living beings were dead, there was only one thing left to do. What is the funnest part of every battle when it comes to Skyrim? Collecting the fruits of my hard labor, but Skynet won't let me do that. So I'll take one last look at all my shiny goods that could have been. That Skynet laughed at me for not being able to get it. So in my tears, I left to clear the rest of the camp. Now I had to sneak the best I could. I failed miserably, so murder it is. After death had ended, I had to see if I could partake in some sweet, sweet loot. And this is what I got. And thank the stars above. But it's a damn monkey's paw, meaning it says a backpack. 1. So to listen to it, I'm only looting one person. And to make it the fairest, I just looted the closest person to me after I had unpaused the game. And I got a bow, arrows, and some armor. And Skynet was merciful upon me and allowed me to equip it. More pointless murder, and I came across the Bandit Chief's room. And may I just say, the Bandit Chief can seriously go do one. I'm a level 1 with crappy armor, no weapons, no flames to use. Trying to be the Bandit Chief. Well, a lot of damn death is what could go wrong. So I made use of that bow, I picked off that crappy henchman, and I relied on the 2 potions I had and my magic to survive the rest of this death gambit. Many, many deaths later, and sweet manna of heaven, time to take the loot that is so rightfully mine. It says I took black silk, 2 pieces of cloth, and the power cane. Here's how I'm interpreting this garbage. I took some fur shoes for the cloth, and a cape for the black silk. I know I said 2, but this is big enough to where I think it can be considered 2 black silk. And for the power cane, I took a war battle axe, because, well, it looks a little bit like a cane, and it has battle in the name, so yeah. Who needs all that gold and diamond? We have fur shoes, baby. There was a locked hatch, and Skynet said I could unlock it. So yes, I wasted my time because I don't have any picks. Screw me. And now with Fort Greensworth empty, and everyone killed, for good reasons I'm sure, we continue on our way to Solitude. After leaving the fort, we came across a small mining town. So I walked around the town for a moment, and before doing anything, I turned to my old friend, Skynet. My good buddy here requested that I make my way to a forge, if there is one anyway. And what do you know, there actually is one with this nice fellow here, who literally looks like the most average old Nord in Skyrim. And gold is struck, this guy actually has a quest for us. But I'm not gonna accept this quest without talking to Skynet. The response is weird as I can imagine, but it says the elf could afford to make another attempt. So I'm gonna take that as we need to accept the quest. So yay! We have to clear out this cave of spiders. After burning all of these large spiders up, my ears screamed for mercy as the sound of 2 rock golems grinding on each other assaulted the sound receivers, and I wanted to scream and punch the nearest Heimsker. After After that, I had to see what I was allowed to take, and well, I asked Skynet like usual. Oh baby, yes. Time to play Skyrim how it's meant to be played. Nothing was spared my wrath. I took everything. Cups, baskets, venom. This is why I love this. When you lose too many battles with Skynet and suddenly get a win, it feels like I won a war. After I left the cave, with much happiness in my heart, I turned in the quest. And as a reward, our Kahlukil got the pleasure of earning 500 gold. We left the town behind us and kept going to Solitude, but we encountered 2 wolves, and Skynet basically told me to get bitten by one and then book it away. And that's what I did, like the true dragonborn, godborn, powerful warrior that I am. It also went on about them turning on each other or something. So we're just gonna pretend after I left they had a marital dispute about over cold dinner or something, I don't know. After our escape, like 2 seconds later, we came across 2 necromancers this time. Skynet really likes me being a coward right now and told me to kill only one and then run away. Truly the example of a valiant knight. Well, I yeeted this one and had to use literally everything I had to stay alive. And I got my elven butt out of dodge. Towards Solitude we went, and lo and behold, 2 seconds later, friggin' bandits. Skynet, what now? Of course you freaking psychopath. Okay, Bella it is, let's go lady. Oh, when you have a friend, I guess you're going down too. Skynet told me to take only their money and nothing else. So better than the power cane and silk, I guess. I don't know. Oh, and a cave, I see. Yes, Skynet told me to search for the undead in the cave. I don't know about any of the undead stuff, but okay, down we go. At the start, we are instantly greeted with this table of loot. So of course we had to ask Skynet. Oh, turns out Talk to Transformer is no longer active. I'm switching to Text Synth, which was recommended to me by someone on the first of this series. This is late, but this is still a thank you nonetheless, so thank you. From now on, this will be Skynet V2, which I will refer to as V2 now instead of Skynet. KK? Anyway, it says it was hers, so we took the little loot that was here. Already liking you, V2. Hopefully you aren't going to turn out to be a psychopath like Skynet. Rest in peace, Rip. I got a mace and a little poison. Perfect for a mage. Oh, and look at apparently I need to reinstall the Eyes of Beauty mod. Yeah, I need to quickly make a note of that. Already killing bandits. Okay, bye. What are these bandits doing in a frozen cave? Literally like 4 feet away, there's like a nice warm weather with great trees and plenty of wildlife. But no, you're inside of a cave. After we kill this dynamic duo, V2 says we can take the gold and magic tablets. I don't think bandits are known for their handy magic tablets, but I did take the gold, seeing as they won't be needing it where they are. Deeper in the cave, there are more bandits. Even the bandit outlaw, hardest enemy we've had to fight other than the bandit chief that made me want to punch a wall. Oh yeah, by the way, we're still level 1 if you didn't know. A little harder, but Kahlukil is a stone cold killer, so yeah. And hey, a chest and a door. And even without me mentioning the door, V2 knew what was up and said for me to loot the chest and enter the mysterious door. You know, I could just be getting a mammoth tusk for Isolde, or, you know, that sword for the dude in Whiterun. But no, we gotta venture through caves all day. What a surprise, more bandit outlaws. Back up, and Chief? With more bandit outlaws behind him? Yeah, dude, this ain't happening. A level 1 ain't doing this. I have no potions, hardly any weapons, and level 1 spells. If it was up to me, I would retreat and come back later when I get stronger. So V2, please? The female mage had to be killed. Wait, come back, Skynet, I'm sorry. Okay, I saved and then dead. Redo time. Thankfully, V2 says we can now retreat, because a level 1 ain't doing this. Onward to Solitude after we narrowly escape. After we leave the cave like the true stone cold warrior we are, can we go just 2 feet without enemies, please? Please. Okay, it says I can run, stop, then run. Deuces, my guy. Well, it looks like a wolf got its attention, so I guess V2 can tell the future. So when the technological overlords come, hopefully I won't be the cause of their mystical future reading powers. What a surprise, more enemies. But we haven't been spotted yet, that's the thing. And V2 basically said to just observe. So I did, and then I just kind of dipped out after it just kind of blurbered about. Ugh. You ever notice they look like sleeping bags that just got dipped in jelly? Ugh. Ooh, a level, finally. Kahlukil's finally getting some fruits of her labors and her much cowardice. And V2 said, and I quote, "The more stamina." What a poet. So we went stamina. And I'm gonna save my skill points because I don't know how to do that part. Suggestions are welcomed, please. Alright, another walrus dude. I know they're not called walruses. I observed it and it yeeted a wolf. Then I just went on my own way because I don't want to be the next victim. Further down the way, we'd run into ruins. And V2 wants to venture them, so down we go. Disappointment. Because in this episode, you may notice that the video quality is a little worse than usual. Basically, my OBS came out looking like this. Yeah, so I apologize. I'm having to zoom into the footage and rearrange it so it covers the whole screen. So the video quality will be a little weaker than you're used to. It'll be fixed in future episodes, I promise. Back to the episode, alright? Anyway, these ruins are guarded by, what a surprise, bandits. We murder them and even a freaking Bandit Chief, which took so much time and a lot of my resources, but we did it, okay? And what a huge surprise, we can't loot them because V2 just hates us. V2 wants us to admire our surroundings and enjoy life. So I did that and kept moving to a locked door. Master locked door. All she could do is try her best. Wow, such inspiration, V2. You actually believe in me. I know I can do this. I may only have a few lockpicks, but V2 actually cares about me. Let's go, dude, come on. So we continue on to the ruins, and it's just a room actually. Neat. V2 says we can take armor, gold, and spells. I did some digging and found some gold, but that's it. Sadly, no spells or armor. Back towards solitude and a spider. I hate the wilderness, man. I'm so sick of this. I can't go 2 feet without a monster attacking me. Why can't I just... We can kill it as long as we don't use our hands. I'm assuming magic doesn't count, cause, you know, I'm not actually touching them. It took 5 seconds to kill it. Couldn't loot it though. A giant? We are level 2. Please, 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 merciful V2, I'm on my knees here. I'm begging you, let me just run as fast as I can. I don't want to reach the stars today. Attacked it straight up. Wait, then it says she can run away. Yes! Attack and then run. Jeez, the ground is shaking. This is actually eerie, man. I'm actually kind of scared, but I somehow made it out alive. We see a structure in the distance, and apparently a voice is ringing in V2's ear to go there, so we do that. Yay, I love deviations from the path that I've been on for 4.5 freaking episodes. But V2 doesn't want to actually attack the fort. For the first time in history, simply draw out an enemy and kill them and then run away from the fort. So this guard is very unlucky to be on duty today. We keep going and now we found a random house full of cult looking people. V2 says I have to go inside, look around and leave. Very exciting content for making jokes here, man. Let's do it. Wow, more ruins in Skyrim. I cannot believe it. Yay. And V2 wants to go down there. Wow, what a surprise. Killed these guys and wow, I cannot loot. Well, wait, what? I can loot whatever I want for this whole dungeon? Are you serious? And we kill and loot for a long time, having a great time. Suddenly, I'm just playing Skyrim and it's great. I don't feel like Skynet is just looking over my shoulder the entire time for just a few minutes. Then, tragedy strikes. The Pale Lady. Boy, this is a high level boss and I'm only level 2. I gave it a lot of tries, but this is literally impossible for someone my level, man. V2 actually said we can leave. Thank goodness. That was the most beneficial dungeon by far. We got tons of gold, potions, and other stuff. V2, you're not half bad right now. We keep going on and we find this hatch. I can clearly see with my eyeballs that there is nothing down there, but V2 insists that there is, so I need to unlock it, and yeah, there's nothing down here. Farkas? My boy! What in the Sam heck is the companions doing out here? Oh, friendly faces, I'm so happy. V2 says I can ask them why they're here, so I did that, and then I left. Wish more could have been done, but that's basically all I was allowed to do. It was good seeing some familiar faces for once, you know what I'm saying? Oh, what is the solitude? There it is! We finally made it! Oh, this is what victory feels like, and it's sweet. I forgot the iMod from last episode, but let's ignore that. Kahlukil made it to her destination. She is home. She can live out the rest of her life with the prince from the first episode. No, I have not forgotten about that. One journey ends, but another will follow. This is not the end of Skynet, no. I just don't really know what to do from here. Should I continue Kahlukil's journey or just start a new adventure and make this sort of like an episodic series? You know, one person goes on an adventure. It ends whenever they reach their goal. Then I start another adventure, just to keep it fresh, you know? I'm leaning way more towards the episodic idea. I think that's just gonna be more fun and interesting. But anyway, Kahlukil's happy, and that's all that matters right now. But this right here is Journey's End. Thanks guys, see ya.